Hi guys, before we start the episode, we're going to tell you all about Patreon. If you love the podcast and want to support us, then sign up to Patreon for as little as £3 a month. You get 2 extra episodes a week, which is insane.
Madness.
One of them is a tarot reading with our guests, and the other one, you get to come into our living room, like our actual living room, where we chill and get high. And
it's like an extra hour a week, innit?
Watch us get chonged on the couch. With our,
And then we've got some extras for the other tiers. You can get a members-only club card, Mild High Club prints, discounts on merch, and probably some other stuff in the future as well, innit?
Yep, lots of goodies.
But if you sign up, you'll be helping us out loads. And it starts from £3 a month. There's £3, £5, £10 tiers. And the more you pay, the more you get. But you get 2 extras a week, which is mad, really, innit?
It's really good.
So if you love the podcast and you want more from the podcast, go sign up today. Patreon.com/The Mild High Club.
Mm-hmm. And the more patrons we have, the sooner we can take over the world.
Always about taking over the world.
There's so many things I want to do, and we need your help to do them.
Go sign up now. Nice one.
Love ya. On with the show.
Yeah. Hey everyone, before we go into this week's episode, I want to tell you about a new sponsor we've got, Munchterm.co.uk. Munchterm is the UK's #1 smoke shop, so you want to hit up them for any and all your smoking paraphernalia. They've got skins, grinders, blunt wraps, they sell CBD flour, they've got all sorts, there's pink ones, there's raws, all sorts of stuff, lighters, anything you need to get high.
Grinders, Blazy Susans, rolling trays.
Them as well.
Filters.
And them. Whatever you need to get high. We've got a little promo code. It's Mild High UK. If you use that, you get £2 off your order. You can either use that code or use our link that's in the description. It's munchterm.co.uk. Go there, buy some stuff, get high, support the podcast. Enjoy the rest of the show. Love yous. Lunchtime. We're here. We're off.
Hello.
Hey guys, we're back. Episode 42, Mild High Club. We're here with...
Do you want us to refer to you as Bass Ventura? Or do you want us to say...
You can call me whatever you want. If you want to say bass, if it's easier, you can say BV. But
it depends. Do you want people to know your government?
My government name.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, you know.
Do you get what I mean? So we'll just call you bass. We'll
keep it just say bass. That's fine. If you get fed up with it, just use my real name. It's fine.
I feel like a proper like a daytime television presenter. So bass.
So bass. I know, right? Yeah.
So we've got a little few things to talk about first, and then we'll get into it properly.
Beatboxing. What? Vice beatboxing champion.
Yeah, do you want me to give him the lowdown?
Yeah, I feel like you'd probably be better at it.
That's fine. So my name is Bass Ventura. I'm the Vice UK Beatbox champion. I've been performing all over the world for a few years now. Originally singer, rapper through my younger years. Came up in music scene, throwing illegal raves at a very young age, and then we kind of, the generators will all turn off at certain times, and the speakers would come on, the laptop would take forever to load up, and then I'd obviously just grab a mic and go for it. So that's kind of how I came into what I'm doing. It's only really been the past 4 years. I've been beatboxing for around 11 years almost now, but the past 4 or 5 years, it's actually been serious, and I've been going for it. That's a little bit about me. I'm sure we'll dive a little bit deeper as we go on.
That's sick. Yeah. I've already got questions about your illegal raves.
There's only so much I can say, I think.
Well, we don't go too far into it. I mean, we talk about drugs and all that, so we could get busted at any time. But do you know when you said like all the generators used to go off and then you just start beatboxing? Was there a time when you like weren't that good and they go off and you just be like, everyone's just having a good time?
So you remember laptops and PCs back in the day? They take 10 minutes to crank up, then you'd be able to open maybe Word or something, then obviously then you open like Tractor or whatever you're mixing with. So, the issue was they'd run out of petrol and someone would be then filling it back up. And then, the speakers would be on. They'd be instantaneous, but then the laptop would take about 5-10 minutes or whatever. So yeah, I mean, the life cycle of a beatboxer is essentially this. And you said that you used to be into it many years back, and I'm sure when you were in high school, you probably knew somebody who did it at least.
Yeah. Couple lads always
exactly,
used to do it.
Like loads of people try it in high school. Tons of people get told they're stupid because you do sound shit. You sound terrible when you're starting out. But it's like anything, you know, you jump on a bike, you're never going to be good straight away. And then there's a few people who have a certain attitude who continue with it and just basically say fuck you to those people. So I didn't say fuck you to you then. But yeah, so it's like those people tend to go quite far because they show that resilience in the first place.
But you have to be like that with a lot of stuff, don't you? You know, like doing, like you say, anything to start and stand up. You shit at it at the start, and then you just got to go, well, I don't care if you don't think. Like, all my family would be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? And then you stick with it and go, I just want to do it. And then all of a sudden, you like, start getting better at it. And
the more dives you have as well, the more you start to build up that kind of, you know, you start to take risks a little bit more.
Have you bombed beatboxing before? That's it. That'd be interesting. Like when the crowd's just not feeling what you're doing. Like
in shows, not so much, because a lot of the time the crowd don't really have a clue what you're doing anyway. Right, so just to hear you do like, they're just everyone's like straight away, like they don't get it. In competitive scenes, so like the battle scene, there's been a couple of bombs. There's like, you know, there's always going to be a few bombs during every event. So, you know, if you go to a beatbox battle, you're going to expect to see some really amazing moments, and you're going to see a couple of, you know what I mean? But you look for that. That's what you want to see. That's the cringe element where you're just like, oh.
So what would constitute like someone bombing, like a cringe moment?
Saying something stupid, completely choking, obviously, you know, nerves, angst, just reinforce dry mouth. And then if you've got dry mouth, you like you can't get much out.
We've had a question sent in by Adam Raw.
Well, he started asking it next door, and I was like, "Hey, it's our guest."
Oh yeah, true. Yes.
Can you remember the question?
What makes one beatboxer better than another? Something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he asked.
Pretty much, basically.
He asked, is it completely subjective or objective? So the answer is both, essentially. So there is specific criteria which you can earn points in. So your usual areas will be like how original your composition is, how technical your composition is, how musical your composition is, your stage prowess, your performance, everything else, how you choreograph, all those sorts of things, like the full package.
Yeah.
And then there's kind of like a shadow genre, which is completely subjective, which is it your taste, essentially? You know, is it something that you go, oh, I actually really like that. That was really like, you know, down my alleyway. And that comes more into play with the battle side of things, because, you know, you've got two people right next to each other, and you're like, which one did I like more?
It's sort of what personal preference type thing, yeah.
So mentally, you'll take note. You'll be like, okay, so like that's like another couple points in these different categories, and then you go, but there was just something about that performance that was just better than his,
like a certain style, or
even
whatever.
though they may have more points. So like, do you know what I mean? Like that can then shift the tide ever so slightly, because you have kind of in new judging criteria, there's kind of that space for what you like, essentially, because if there wasn't, I mean, it'd just be like, oh right, well, very robotic,
too technical.
Definitely.
What Joe, so when you done the Vice one, was that like a battle, or was that just more of like a competition?
So that was battle competition, essentially the same thing.
Oh, right,
so yeah, that was the UK Beatbox Championships. That's hosted by the UK Beatbox Championships, all of like I think there's some help from Lyrics Organics and a bunch of the Beatbox Collective and stuff, which are really good event organizers, essentially. That was my second year doing it. So the first year I got top 8 in the UK. I got first in the elimination. So how it kind of works is you have I think it's usually like 32, it can sometimes be more. You all go up on stage, you do an elimination round, and they go, right, we're going to choose the top 16. So they'll all be judged, and then they'll choose their top 16, and then it's like 1-16, 2-15, and they just battle it out, and then it's like a normal bracket. So I went up against a guy called D-Lo that year. This was 2000 and... Oh, God, what year was that? 2018, I think? Yeah, I think it was 2018. And I went up against the guy D-Lo, who's now one of the world champions. One of the first beatboxers I met, vice versa. Absolute fucking ridiculous. Like, if you watch some of his stuff, you'll go, Oh, okay. This is not what I thought.
Next level
was.
type stuff.
I mean, you saw me, obviously.
Yours was the same as that though, because like
yeah.
I say, I used to be like sort of into it, and you know, back when I was in like school and that teenager, so it was a good like couple of years ago. Do you get what I mean?
Yep.
And obviously over time, as music's changed, I imagine beatboxing's changed with it.
Oh, massively.
You do a lot of like dubsteppy D&B sound and stuff.
Yeah.
And like obviously before dubstep, that type of beatboxing wouldn't really have happened, would it? So it's like
definitely, yeah. No,
he was in school a long time ago, wasn't he?
long time ago.
No, it's a good point though, because like, you know, it was primarily hip hop for the longest time. And what kind of happened is hip hop and beatbox were like this. And then hip hop went straight up, and beatbox was just kind of forgot about in a sense, because you know you go back then, and a lot of the beatboxing that was happening then was quote unquote basic. Right?
It was just for like freestyling over the top of, and that one, like when they didn't have like speakers or whatever.
Exactly. And it, you know, you see it now in nowadays level, and you're like, I can't distinguish that from a song I hear from here or there or whatever, and the frequencies, the different sounds and stuff. So yeah, you know, it's always been in hip hop's shadow, but I honestly think it's like, yes, it's always come from hip hop culture, but I think it's kind of bigger than that now. I feel like it's its own entity. It's kind of like how there was bashment, then it kind of formed into grime, and then garage and all these different things, and now it's like they're just their own genres, right? I feel like it's kind of the same thing. But yeah, I mean, so when we were talking about, I'm sorry, we talked about this off air, but we talked about Reggie Watts.
Yeah.
So when I was saying about Reaps One, he kind of pioneered, who's friends with Reggie Watts, he kind of pioneered that sort of dubstep, drum and bassy style, and he's from the UK. And that then just went into Europe, then the rest of the world, and then it just went boom. And everyone was just like, there's way more stuff we can do now. So yeah, it went from taking a lot of inspiration from hip hop to then just any genre of music that there is.
Yeah, just trying to like match a certain sound or whatever in it, and then going, oh, I made that sound like a synth or whatever.
Yeah.
How do you like compose? Is that the right word?
No, that's that's a good question.
Where'd you start?
It depends on the criteria, essentially. It all starts with an idea. I like to start with a melody, because I think melodies are the most, they carry the most emotion. And like I said before, like, you know, beatbox, words carry a lot of weight, but sounds don't really. Yeah. So you've got two things. So you've got to try and find as many things that carry emotion, i.e., you know, if you're using like melodies, or if you're using like bass tones, whatever it may be. Or even words, if you have some lyrics in a routine, like that's your one opportunity. This is going to all beatboxers that might watch this. You have one opportunity to say something, make it count. Yeah. Beatboxers have the worst lyrics in the world.
Right,
like I could probably send you some videos and you'll piss yourself.
Oh yeah, we'll put them on our Patreon. So we're not shaming anyone publicly.
Shit. Yeah, I was gonna say oops. But yeah, I mean, I usually start with a melody, then I'll find kind of what BPM that's going to. I'll try and find like something unusual percussion wise, and then I'll just kind of build from that idea. Yeah. I'll find like the middle section, which would be the melody, bass, whatever, yada yada. Then I'll find a way to kind of bring the energy down, build it back up, and then slam with something crazy at the end, and then kind of work backwards then to like intro something that's quite like down here, and then the routine just keeps building up like that. So everyone's process is different, but I like to work from the middle forward. So I've got all the main hype, and then I go backwards, and then I just
around it.
off.
Oh, that's cool. What I thought was mad when we were watching one of your videos, obviously like you'd be doing like certain songs. I'm not sure if they were like songs that you had done originally or whatever, but there's bits where you'd like stop and you were talking to people and you go, oh, this bit is really hard to do. And it'd be like a drum fill. And I just thought it was mad the way you had like them drum fills ready and you could just do that over and over again. Like I know it's probably makes so much sense when you're a beatboxer. You know, obviously you've got to practice a certain like drum fill or whatever. But it was just the fact that you were like, oh, this is mad. And done it.
It's hard to do,
and it was like, wow, it's weird.
It's going back to comedy. It's the exact same thing. You know, you've got that certain joke, and you've got different ways of telling it. You've got different ways that it can, you know, elicit different responses from an audience.
Yeah, right.
Same thing. You know, I've got like this drum fill that I can, you know, put in this certain arrangement, and I know that it will get this sort of response, or I can just use it kind of separately, or you know, sometimes you have to pick out your highlights of a beat. The whole reason the judges is there is like, let's say I have that one fill in something that's heavily technical, it's kind of going to go amiss, but a judge is there to pick that up.
Yeah.
Whereas if I do everything else kind of basic and I do that one fill, which is quite technical on its own, then everyone's going to go, oh, that's that one point, right? So it's like, it's very strategic. And that's all in the composition and all. It's pretty wild, but it's just a lot of repetition.
Yeah.
A little bit of Tourette's helps. Couple of other things thrown in there.
Yeah.
And just I mean, it's all about channeling hyperfocus, or flow state, as you'll hear it. It's like you know, you have to be like, right, I'm doing the beat now and I'm just locked in. Yeah. If you're not locked in, then it's gonna be like
it's like anything, isn't it?
Yeah. For some people, yeah. I don't really find it too meditative. I'm saying that right.
Something along
it's
them
something
lines,
like that. I mean, the only reason being is my jaw is a pain in the ass. Like, it's always super hyper tense. Right. So if I beatbox for a long time, I'm just like locked jaw, stuck there. I'm like, I've been dealing with it the past few days. It's been a nightmare. But I mean, for some people it is. And there's people who you can physically see that and hear that in their music. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm just going for hype and vibe, and that's it. So.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
We do one. You do one.
Well, you do one. Okay, right. I'll tell you what. I'll do one if you two give it a little bit of a go. What do we think?
I'll give it a go.
Should we get him to give it a go?
Yeah. Can't wait to watch Finn's face drop when I'm sick of beatboxing.
When you drop the craziest
Imagine
freestyle
if I was just
ever.
amazing at it and didn't tell anyone.
Hey, that's
been practicing this whole time waiting for you.
In the shower.
Terrible.
I haven't
It's always the shower. Okay, so I'm just gonna ask you I'm just gonna ask you to do whatever you think your interpretation of it is.
No. Tell me specifically what to do.
This is why it's fun. Come on, listen, we want it this way, don't we?
I hate this. You're never coming back again.
You asked for this. I wasn't keen on any of this. You're like, no, we'll have a go.
There's a reason why. So you'll probably end up doing something that I'll go, okay, with this little
the boots and the cats.
So you could do that, right? So
I told you that.
I'd be like, with a little bit of adjustment, you might be able to find something that's like a genuine beatbox sound.
Yeah.
So whenever you fancy it, just whatever.
Oh, so we just have to do something.
You go first, then. Go on.
What? Just straight off the dome, like?
Yeah, just whatever.
Isn't this
you know what I mean? Imagine you're at a comedy show, right? Imagine you're at a comedy show. Right?
I wouldn't beatbox.
And you're telling a bit, right? You're on about.
You have to tell a joke then.
Oh, Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
There you go. Just whatever you
I'm like
want.
the least funny
just off the
person
top
in the room at the minute.
Top of your head. Go on.
I don't know if
Can I try and do something that you do, just so there's something in my head?
Cool. We'll start with that.
That's a bit easier for me. That's all right.
There we go.
That's all right. That. Yeah, man. Sick. UK Championships, here we come.
Exactly. Oh, you could do tag team, which is 2v2. That'd actually be fire. That'd actually be sick.
Yeah.
So, one thing I noticed, your kick is really good.
Yeah.
Good. So when you do it, you want to essentially say B, and you want to build up the pressure behind your lips and then just release it.
This is... I'm going to blame my asthma for this.
Nah.
Yeah, asthma doesn't help.
I bet there's asthmatic beatboxers out there somewhere.
You should see me trying to blow the candle out on a night. We have bedside candles, don't we?
Yeah, we're Victorian, yeah.
Just like...
Honestly, it's embarrassing.
It's because you go... you're trying to frost,
no air in there.
Thingy up some glass.
That's awesome. So, I mean, essentially what you've done...
Dizzy.
You've done a kick, you've done a hi-hat, you've done a snare.
Okay.
That's it. So we've got loads of like different plosive sounds in the English alphabet. So like B, T, K, P. So there's things with snares. So like we did, which is a K, right? We can use like a P, which is p, which means there's a bit of a to it, but not too much. And we can add an F. So it's PF. It's like you're saying piff, but without saying the I.
No, I can't do that. I
can't do that.
Right?
There's a bit in that I can't do.
Yeah.
I want some more lipstick.
You knew it was coming, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know this was coming.
It's just so you get an idea of kind of how these sounds are looked at. Because like I feel like the way a beatboxer's brain works is so different to how normal people's heads work. It's very strange, and you take that into different aspects of your life, and it's weird because we're always seen as weirdos essentially. Because we're like, you should be doing that. If this was back in the Middle Ages, we'd be burnt on a cross straight away. You know what I mean? They'd be like,
I love the thought of like a Tudor beatboxer.
Tudor beatboxer.
That'd be amazing.
Well, that'd be like green sleeves.
They'd be a jester for sure, wouldn't they?
Sick, wouldn't it? Playing a little lute with his mouth. Be sick.
That'd be a joke.
Have you ever, like, when you were learning, I don't know when you first started, what age you were when you first started, but did you used to do like theme tunes off the telly and stuff like that? And
I always kind of stayed away from that sort of stuff, I'll be honest. I always...
Not good practice though, or is that just hack? Am I hack beatboxer? Like doing Corrie and EastEnders and that?
I have no idea how it goes. My memory is like literally 3 days and whatever it is, it's gone. I mean, a lot of people do that, and you see a lot of people on TikTok who do it and that sort of stuff. And this is something I do want to address. Is like you'll see a lot of these same gimmicky style things because like you say this to anybody, say like, oh, you're a beatboxer, they'll go, oh right, that's a job. Yeah, it's like fucking damn right, it's a job. You know what I mean? I'm sure you get that with comedy as well, or even podcasting.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. But it's entertainment at the end of the day. But people see that gimmicky side of beatboxing and they constantly think that that's all it is. Right?
Yeah,
nobody does a deep dive, and people don't like to feel stupid. So, you know, if they go in where they're hearing all these crazy sounds and they can't be asked trying to understand it. It's too much to just dive into, and I get that. But it's only until they see somebody live or in person they go, oh shit, like it's a bit different than that.
It's the same with like an actual song though as well, isn't it? Like you could show like a real complex song to someone who's not really that arsed about music, and you go, oh, listen to this, what he does here, and they go, that's just...
And they're like, oh, it sounds like a guitar.
And no, but like what he's doing is incredible. Like, so it's like,
people don't get it, but I mean, it's one of those things. We're on the cusp of blowing up entirely.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay.
I mean, it seems pretty big anyway. Like I don't know.
It is. Yeah. The view counts and everything is all massive. The scene is getting big now.
Yeah.
I think the main thing now is just like how. So this is the tough tackle that we're trying to get past. It's not how can the mainstream use us. It's how can we use the mainstream because we've been doing well away from the whole standard music business.
Yeah.
I don't think that's equipped for beatboxers. I mean, you think about it. We make a song on the spot, split second, as it is. We can create samples. We can do all the rest of it. We're essentially hyper musicians because we don't need a single
other person or anything.
So, you know, producers, I don't know, some producers don't like that. I know some drummers don't like that. I know some other people don't like that. So there is some shade on that side, but it's how can we utilize that? How can we create a new platform? And then how can we kind of move from there? So I'm going to ask you.
Go on.
I usually ask for a genre, but I feel like you're going to say something I'm not going to be able to do.
Mine'd always be G-Funk.
G-Funk.
But that's just old school, though. It's too easy for you.
I just don't know how I do G-Funk.
Yeah. You do you.
Okay.
That's what you're here for.
Okay, let me have a think.
Okay.
So have you got any questions while he's thinking?
How old are you?
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I'm 24.
24.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
age.
still a baby.
Yeah.
Still a baby.
Yeah, man. When you're 30, you'll be fucking beatboxing all across the world, don't you? And
I mean, yes, you are,
Fingers crossed. So I've been to a fair few countries doing shows and other stuff. Done Glastonbury and a few other good festivals like that. But like I say now, my main thing is Twitch.
Yeah.
You know, live streaming, all that sort of stuff. I just love the environment of it. You build your own community. You have these like amazing people. You kind of vet everybody as they come in. So you know you're not going to any dickheads in there. It's kind of like a really good safe space.
What's your Twitch? Plug your Twitch.
Oh, so yeah, you can find it at twitch.tv/Bass Ventura TV. And then there's YouTube channels, Bass
We'll
Ventura.
throw that in the description as well for you as well,
that'd be dope, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I started out on Instagram. I started documenting everything, just so it was like, oh, I can look back and just see kind of what I've done.
Or whatever,
it just shows the progress as well.
Yeah.
You forget everything. You'll do a beat in the shower, you'll get out and you'll go, fuck, what was it?
Yeah,
it's just constant.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where, you know, building platforms, as you guys know, it's not the easiest, but you get those lucky breaks.
Yeah.
The first video I actually ever released with beatboxing, I wasn't actually beatboxing myself, was like a really shit rap video when I was in Krakow, Poland, with a bunch of really dope. I say it's shit, people love it, but it was like bars when I was like 14. Just mean nothing. You know what I mean? There's a lot of energy and hype in the song, but it just doesn't really mean much. But that got shared by like Chris Brown and like a million different pages, and no one tags. So you never get old, you know what I mean? So there's all that seedy business, but it is what it is.
That happened with me the other day, Radio X. I called them out on it though.
Oh, was it? You got to?
I commented on it being like, yeah, if you all enjoyed this, give me a follow.
Exactly.
And then they like pinned that to the top, and then they changed the thing and tagged me in it. And I was like, yeah, you fucking should. Like
we live in an age of free content, and everything's expected to be free. And as soon as you monetize, people start looking down on you as if like, oh, what you think you deserve money for this, and it's like, well, hang on, you're not paying. So like, you're gonna watch the ad read, and you're gonna listen to the adverts as well. So it's one of those. I mean, people don't get it, but they soon will. So if there's any ads, like now, watch it,
ladies. It's time,
and gentlemen,
and in betweens. It's time to up your vibrator game and get yourself a brand new vibrator. There's so many different things you can get these days. There's wands. They sell the Vush wand as seen in Cardi B's music video.
Ooh.
There's clitoris suckers.
Get yourself a WAP.
There is. Yeah. If you just listen, it's all about that self-care, and if you do one thing to look after yourself, if this Christmas or going forward into the new year, get yourself some more vibrators. Fellas, look after your ladies. You know how like made up she'd be to open like a brand new wand?
Maybe make sure she only opens it in front of herself though, and not any children around.
Not the kids. But like, honestly, like it'll improve your sex life. It'll improve your mental health. It relieves stress. It's self-care. Wank more.
Tell them what it is then.
Oh yeah. It's taylorstoys.com, taylorstoys.co.uk, and the code is TMHC10 for 10% off all your vibrator needs, or just your kinky stuff like bed restraints. There's cock rings. There's like so much stuff to just spice up your life.
There's even stuff you can put in your dick if that's what you're after.
Yeah.
Who knows? We don't judge. There's a pair of breasts with a fanny in the middle. Go wild.
Whoa.
10% off that.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Go there now.
Yeah. Taylor's Toys, TMHC10.
Good vibes only.
Yeah, and I'll review some products as well on the show.
Yeah.
See you later.
Bye. Taylor's Toys.
There we go. Right, so what should I do? So I've got a fair few beats, but I just have I'll have a think. I'll do something that this ranked me 22nd in the world for wildcards for the last world championships, or Grand Beatbox Battle as we call it. I'll see if my voice even holds up on this one.
Wild.
Okay, dokie.
Tense face.
Down, la la down, 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 la da down, 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 la da down, 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 la da down, take it all away. Take it all away. So I sat down.
chaos. There's not enough people in here to be clapping for that.
Thank you.
I
Jesus.
just don't understand.
Go on, Amy. You'll go.
It sounds like you've got a whole like Whoville of musicians living on your tonsils.
Yeah, I love that.
I hope there's people driving in the cars
dandelion.
listening to that speed and then just like...
Shit. Yeah,
like that you said halfway through, this is hard sitting down.
It is hard sitting down,
Like-
yeah, because a lot of it's diaphragm work.
Yeah.
So when you're like,
Yeah.
you're doing like all these like, like the, I'm going like,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? So it's hard like to do that sat down because you're kind of crunched over.
Compressed a bit, yeah. That was
Exactly, yeah.
chaos, mate.
A lot of
That
it's
was so
diaphragm
good.
work, so
That
you get the
was
extra
insane.
power and stuff. But
Yeah, right.
So I mean, all I'm doing there is I'm just refining the unique little pressures within the mouth, and I'm just organizing it and creating little like patterns, as you'd call it, and
Yeah,
then
right.
Are you not dizzy?
No. So we don't really get dizzy. Our breathing is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah.
I got dizzy. Just
Just go,
It was just mad. Like, obviously, I've seen it on videos and that, and heard it, like,
hearing it in person.
hearing it in person is
Way
insane.
different.
Yeah,
Way
it's
different.
mad.
Yeah.
Because it's just like, because you think, obviously, because you use, like, I don't know if you use a certain mic and that, and you might add a little bit of reverb or whatever onto it. But that's always how I've thought, like, how much is it being picked up just by the mic, like accentuating it, but then to sit here and feel it and be like, no, fucking hell, it's like, it's proper, like,
So it's a good point though. It's a really
Yeah.
good point because, you know, in post-processing, you have the possibilities are endless. Like you can do God knows what in post-processing, but when you hear it in person, you actually, I don't know, there's a different connection to it, I think, a lot of the time. But it's like if you're doing a show, you can't really like just go, everyone, okay, now I'm gonna go. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things. So with these condenser mics, these pick up a hell of a lot. To be fair, and I usually use an SM7B, which is one of the best on the market for that sort of stuff. You know, I don't really have a hell of a lot of EQ on it. Just a little bit of gain boost and a few other bits. Maybe like a tiny bit of reverb.
Yeah.
And you know, you get your normal handheld mics that you'll use for stand-up, and we usually cup them. So you've got like a polar pattern with a microphone, which is kind of like an invisible area around it, which is picking up sound essentially. And when you cup it like that, it kind of just focuses one point, so everything's then amplified essentially. So if I do like, that's gonna like fill up a whole room, and it's gonna be super subby. The whole room is gonna like shake essentially.
Right.
But if I was to kind of take it away and just,
it's not
like
a
little bit of
massive
rumble,
noise,
yeah. So it's there's a lot of different things. You know, you've got your actual beats, getting them down, then you've got your microphone technique, then you've got all of that encompassed with the stage performance, then you've got all those different things. There's a lot of moving parts, but it's
crazy.
It comes together.
It's crazy
quite
being
well.
able, because like you say, when you're using a mic, it's right in front of your face, innit? It was mad being able to watch your mouth.
Actually
and
doing it.
seeing like the little bits you were doing and that.
Should have thought about that actually for the camera. I should have probably moved it that way or something. That would have made
Oh no, it's all
go
good.
again.
Let's go.
It's a podcast anyway, so some people won't watch it anyway. But
Yeah, true.
they'd be
That's mad.
loving that in the cars or whatever. Sick.
Yeah, hopefully.
Is what made you get into it, like when you were younger? Is there anything?
To be honest, I get asked this a lot, and my memory's that shot.
Yeah,
Do you
true.
smoke
Remember?
weed, or?
I used to.
Do you have to
a lot
pretend
more.
like you?
Well,
bit.
I mean, you're supposed to.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. But no, there's I used to years back, but I just like I find a lot of the time because my jaw anyway. If I smoke, and a lot of the time my jaw's just like clamp shut.
I thought it would have had the opposite effect.
Well, I
like
thought as well.
Like,
but just it made it worse because if it had been on an evening or a night time, which was when I would a while back, it's just like I'd fall asleep, I'd wake up and I'm just grinding and clenching, and I'm just like, fuck this, I can't do it anymore.
Is your jaw essentially hench from?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could bite through copper if I wanted to, I think.
That's mad.
Did you get like muscle strain and that from it?
Big time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a TMJ on this side, which is completely unbalanced, which is from because I'm dropping my jaw down like that, and then I'm clenching this side, and then as I'm moving this across, all these muscles are engaged, and all of these ones as well. So it's just like
it's mad. You just don't think actually how much goes into it.
Yeah,
Like,
there's a
that'd be
lot.
good for like jowls, I imagine.
Probably, yeah.
Prevention.
Yeah.
All that to look forward to in the future.
Well, people use those little bite things, don't
Yeah.
they? They put them in the middle and they just like this all day. And I'm like, why the fuck would
Let's get
you
into
want to do that?
beatboxing.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's that, but I'm just like, if I do that, I'm finished for the next week.
Jaw's gonna be massive, yeah.
Just I can't move it. It's horrible. The past few days, I went to the osteo, couple numerous massages, neck, back, head, jaw, everything, and I'm just about functioning.
Yeah.
And so I've got a bit more of it's like sports in it, you know. You need to get everything released and stuff.
Yeah.
Mouth.
You just don't think about it like that much, do you? Like
it's mad.
All that side of it. Like you just see like a lot of people will just see a 30-second clip and go, "Oh, sick, that
was cool."
Yeah. But like when you're like doing it as a career, like trying to win competitions and all that type of stuff, it's like anything, like you say, like being an athlete or getting 100%. Into stand up or being a musician and that, like it's crazy how much work properly goes into it. It's boss.
Yeah. I mean, I've always said like and this isn't to toot my own horn at all, but like I do genuinely believe it's the most intellectual and intricate way of creating sound or music in the world, because there's no instrumental aid. You know, it's using we thought how many years ago we thought like, you know, we were using 100% of our voices just talking.
Yeah.
We're not even using a fraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it goes to show how you know, how many capabilities that we have as humans just to, one, express differently, two, you know, kind of break through language barriers. Because like, you know, the global community, we all meet up however many times a year. And there's hundreds of thousands of everybody. And it's just like, you know, I could be speaking to someone from Korea. They don't speak a lick of English, but we're just like, we're vibing on the exact same wavelength as if I was speaking to one of my boys back home or anything like that. You know, it's wild. So it's like, I don't know, you see like, you know, monks and people like that with and all this. There's a lot of like frequency based stuff behind it as well, which I'm not too clued up on, so don't ask. But I would be really interested to see kind of what the capabilities would be with beatbox and all that sort of stuff.
Well, I was going to say to you, like a lot of the stuff you do with like the low bass wobbles and all that seems like a very like Tibetan throat singing and
that's
stuff.
A throat
similar.
Bass, that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
mine's awful, but yeah, I used to do that a lot, and then I found this one, and then I just honed in on it and
just stuck with it.
Neglected everything else. Yeah, but yeah, it's, you know, beatboxing as itself is really good for like you know, speech therapy. You know, just getting like just general focus, because you have to like. It's almost as if you're training your autopilot a lot of the times. Like, you know, when you get on stage and you kind of like, all right, I got a little bit of nerves for this show. It's probably one of the biggest shows I've done. And you just like, okay. And you just go into that nowhere space of just like autopilot. I'm doing it.
You sort of feel like you're just watching yourself.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. It's just training that. It's like you get yourself into that kind of, I don't know, weird space. And, you know, I'm a beatboxer, so I'm sometimes I'm hesitant of coming on podcasts because I'm literally trained for my mouth to move faster than my brain. You know what I mean? So like you're constantly trying to like, okay, I'm thinking, I'm processing, I'm like trying to make sure I say the right thing. But
don't worry about saying the wrong thing on here, man.
No, I know. I mean, I wouldn't anyway, but it's just like, you know, you've got a direction you're going in, and I could just end up rambling on any old shit, and then I'm like, oh wait, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, I used to do like certain sessions with kids with like autism, ADHD. So the ADHD was mainly for focus.
Yeah, right.
Because it's just like, okay, this is like what I'm doing. I can just focus, and you know, moving a million different things with your mouth and other stuff just really helps you zone in. But with autism, it's interesting because, like I said at the beginning, words carry weight.
Yeah.
And one thing with autism is, you know, the fear of saying something and not understanding the emotional response.
Yeah.
And with beatbox, you don't have that. So I had a student a few years back, and I've not done it for a while now, but I had a student a few years back that wouldn't really speak unless it was like someone they was like ridiculously comfortable with. And when they started learning to beatbox, you just saw this side of them that just boom opened up, and it was like, I can express myself without hurting anybody,
and see people's faces like change because they go, "Wow, it's really impressive," and
yeah.
Wow.
So like that was like a really eye-opening thing where I was like, this is something, you know what I mean? Because for years I was like, it's just whatever.
It's a hobby,
because like
something you enjoy
small town
doing.
mentality. Well, what I grew up with, you know what I mean? I'm just like, everybody's oh shit, that don't make no fucking sense. Like, fuck off, go back to the rub club. So yeah, it's It's definitely something that's way bigger than you can imagine at first. But I mean, if you want to do a deep dive, do a deep dive. But you're gonna be a wormhole, not a rabbit hole.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Sorry, oh my God, I just caught it on there. It's not been in my mouth, that bit, don't worry.
Yeah, man, sick.
Yeah.
I need a way.
Do you wanna, we've done 35 there, so we'll have a little ad break.
Yeah.
And we'll come back in a minute.
break.
See you in a minute.
3, 2, 1.
Hello, everyone. We're here to tell you about a sponsor we've got.
Woo.
Mogwai CBD. What is it?
CBD.
Yeah.
What is it good for? Absolutely everything. Get yours now at mogwai-cbd.com.
Yeah.
Checkout code TMHC20.
For 20% off. And if you do that, that gets us a little bit of money.
So support the podcast.
Support us.
And you're also supporting local business and your own health. It's amazing for mental health. It's amazing for lowering your cholesterol and stuff.
Is it? You're just making stuff up now?
It's good for insomnia. It's good for anxiety. And it's premium quality as well.
Yeah. You can get it in oils, or you can get it in a flake or a crumble, which you need a dab rig for, which some of you might know what that is. Some of you might not. I don't really know what it is either.
If you get the oil, you can literally just put it in your brew though.
Or under your tongue.
And then be buzzing for the morning.
Yeah. So that'll be a TMHC 20 checkout for 20% off. Help us out with the CBD.
Mugway.
Yeah. Hey, we're back after that little advert from whoever it was.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Here's your members only club card.
Yeah, man.
Go.
We give these to all our guests
Nice.
and some patrons if you're in the good tiers.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Cherish it.
It's an honor. Do you know what? I'm gonna put this here. That's gonna stay in the window in my wallet right there.
Yes,
man.
It's gold, just like the brand. Love that.
And everyone will be like, "What's this club?" And you're like, "Exclusive."
I'd be like, "Listen,
Too
mate,
exclusive.
you don't know. You're not
Too
allowed
sick.
in it."
Two sick beatboxers that you haven't heard of yet.
Yeah, two funny ass beatboxers.
Up and coming.
So are you going to tell them about your bet you've got on with a sub?
Bet. Oh,
That's
right.
kind of a
Okay.
bet,
Oh,
isn't
okay.
it?
No, I've not got a bet. But it's. Oh no, it is a bet. Is it a bet?
Yes, it's a bet.
So I do humiliatrix stuff, which is people pay me to insult them, make videos, and they pay me like £100 for like a 3-minute video. Just calling them a knobhead. It's insane. And then one guy I just didn't reply to, and it's fine when you don't reply as well because they kind of like it.
Leaves them in their own their own spot for a moment.
So I ignored this guy,
Yeah.
and then he messaged me today saying, "Can you flip a coin? If it's heads, I'll give you £100 for the video, and if it's tails, I send you £200 and get nothing."
Oh, high stakes game.
And I said, "You're a fucking idiot."
Oh, how'd you flick coins there?
Oh no!
It's actually tails. I was gonna say it was tails anyway,
Wait, you're gonna have
but
to,
it's tails.
You're gonna have to do that nearer to the camera. I think we're gonna have to. Yeah.
What do you mean?
You need to rest it on that finger at least.
Yeah,
do you
get it on there.
Oh, like that?
Yeah. Okay.
It's tails again.
It is genuinely tails though.
Send me £200.
£200, please, mate.
Fucking
Thanks a
knobhead.
lot. Cheers, fella.
Nah. Send me £200.
Yeah. Catch a slight little video. Insert. Yeah. Won't focus.
Tails, you little knobhead. Give us some money.
So
Tails twice as well. It's technically 400, but we'll let you off.
£400
Let you off.
is
Give
it,
us just 2.
Nice.
Did you just do an air horn by hitting your throat?
Yeah.
I was doing that the other night, wasn't I?
Yeah.
you do it again.
But you can so there's a way of doing it where you put your teeth into your bottom lip.
And it is like a little vibration.
Yeah.
I mean,
So you're going through your nose, you're going like that. So just try and do it like so like an F kind of.
this is gonna be the best podcast ever.
You'll find the right spot.
There we
Yeah,
go.
let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, sick of
Let's
beatboxing.
go.
mate. I'm
And
gonna
then
be
you
there
just
next year.
tap your throat and
Yeah.
there you go, done.
That's amazing.
Yeah, dead
Love
easy.
it.
People hate that sound in the beatbox scene, but it comes in handy sometimes.
Yeah, you have to use it, like pick and choose when to use
Yeah,
it.
when
Yeah.
it's a coin flip for
exactly,
for
£400.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What was the question that you started asking before we come back? You singing before you were beatboxing?
Yeah, so I was singing. I mean, I used to play drums. That was my first thing. I used to play drums, and I was super into like heavy metal and all that sort of stuff for the most time. And then I stopped playing drums, and as a teenager, just want to go out and get drunk and do whatever.
Yeah.
So I always had that kind of music bug. So I just started singing and rapping and stuff. And then kind of beatboxing came a little bit later on because I didn't really know what it was. I just started doing it, and then I was like, oh shit,
right,
there's other people who do this. But yeah, I used to sing, used to rap, and now they're kind of in the background, but they're slowly coming forward. I've got a new music video and song coming out hopefully before New Year. But we'll see. We don't know yet.
Ooh,
so
keep an eye out.
What are you doing on the music video?
So we made the song in 2 days. So this is why I'm kind of we made the song in 2 days. So I wrote the lyrics for my part in 2 days before I went to Poland for the majority of October for the World Championships. So when we got over there, we had like a rough draft of the song, and then we just recorded the music video, drone shots, like loads of crowd to like 80 beatboxers just going crazy and stuff on stage during our performances and stuff. So the music video is going to be kind of just like a highlight reel of that essentially,
right, yeah.
But we perform the same song in each of those different settings. So it's gonna match. It's all gonna look, proper. So we're just waiting for the final edit on that, and then we'll see how it goes.
Oh, sick! That's right.
Exciting.
That's cool.
You're going for Christmas number one?
Maybe, I don't know. It might be after Christmas. Shit.
So just before we come back, I said to you about questions to ask you.
Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, there's a couple that people always ask. What are they? Are you just bored of answering them because they're the same ones every time, or?"
Yes and no. I mean, it comes from a place of curiosity, but at the same time, it's like, come on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's one which is just, how did you know you could do it? Were you born with it? Is another one. You're not born with it. Everyone can do it. Okay, it just takes a long ass time of practice.
Yeah.
Do you not need a specific type of brain though?
I don't think so. No, not really.
Just
I mean, if I could teach like a 40-50-year-old woman who's never ever like had a go at it before, I'm sure you know.
you
what
do
I mean?
lessons, don't you?
Yeah. So
actual seminars and stuff on it.
Maybe not seminars as such, but I do private one-to-one lessons. I've been educating for about 4 years now, on and off. Mostly in the last 3. But yeah, I mean, it's good. Through the first year of lockdown, that was my only income.
Yeah.
For the most part, the whole way through. And obviously now we've got the streams and other stuff. But yes, I educate. I have a clothing brand on the side, which is currently in like a weird limbo rebrand place. I want to get a jewelry company open by next year. Fingers crossed. I might outsource, but if I can learn it myself, even better. So there's a lot of prospects.
Moving.
It's like yourself.
Yeah.
You've got entertainment, but then you've got a million other ways that you've got to diversify your income streams and stuff. It's all down to marketing and da. But yeah, so that's one of the main questions: is how did you know you could do it?
Yeah.
And were you born with it? And it's like, no, you're not born with it. You just learn it. You you grind your ass off until you get things sounding clean, things sounding consistent.
Yeah.
And the second one that always comes up at the end of a show, there's always this one person that comes up at the end of the show and they always go, "Wonder what that feels like on your pussy?" Every single time. Every single time. And you're like,
delete one of my questions.
I knew it was coming.
Well, my question was, have you ever done it on a fanny?
So yeah.
So it's a bit different.
Yeah, it's
penis.
been done. No. You can save that part of the question.
Or a bubble.
Yeah, is the answer to that question. I mean, if you think about beatboxing, it's all just vibration.
Yeah.
It's the exact same. It
Does
can be.
sound
It
like
can
the
be.
Rush one. TMHC.
Perfect segue.
What was it? Is that the code?
TMHC Therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, go.
Like,
feels good.
It's like, yeah.
Just a bit of background noise.
It's like we're in the bedroom.
Nice. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's basically vibration, but it's also hard to do, as it is anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not the easiest thing.
Yeah.
There's a million different ways you can tackle that, but you just do it normally.
I feel like as well, the only
Or make them wear
person,
headphones.
yeah, the only person you'd really be able to do it with would be like sort of a beatboxing groupie. Because if you just took a girl home on a night out or whatever and just started going, You should be like, what the fuck are you doing?
She figures her making that noise.
I'm gonna beat your box.
Beat your box. Can I beat your box? Have you ever used that line?
You can have
No,
that.
I'll be honest. I'm quite the opposite. I'm very confident, especially when I'm performing, but I'm just not that kind of person that goes up to someone and is just like, "Oh, you're all right," or ask for a number.
That takes balls, though. Beatboxing on someone's fanny. That's respect to
or on someone's balls.
Or balls, yeah.
Someone did try to blow me up with a straw once.
What?
Yeah.
Tried to do what?
Blow me
It wasn't me. So I know who it was.
It's like Shrek with those pufferfish rolls.
Yeah. Tried to blow you up with a straw.
It didn't work.
I thought you could kill people like that.
Yeah, I thought there was something along those lines. Yeah.
I mean,
or like you can get some issue.
I thought it like
somehow.
would have been an easier
They say
life.
about hot tubs, don't they, or something like that, sitting on the jets and stuff.
Oh really?
Oh,
I wouldn't know.
really?
Still here.
Still going.
Okay, so my funny questions out.
Okay,
then.
let's go.
But another one I had was, have you ever used it to get yourself out of a situation?
This is a really funny question. So I've spoken to numerous beatboxers about this, and they're always like, "Oh, do you ever feel like if you're gonna get jumped, you could be like, oh, I could do this really cool thing," well, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're fine, like yes, you could go." It's like I don't know. I mean, it's crossed my mind in that sense, but it's not really, it's never happened. But I mean, I'm trying to think. I can't really think if there's an exact moment I can pinpoint where I'm like, shit, I wouldn't have got out on that unless I'd like.
Well, in my head, I wasn't thinking more like people were going to jump you and wait, guys, I can do this. What I was thinking is like, say, like, if someone was going to jump you and you're like, pretended the police were coming, like done a siren,
like a Michael Winslow-esque style thing,
something like that.
Yeah.
Or like a fire alarm to try and get people out of a room or something.
Not in that setting, not really, no. I mean, there's been times where like we've been out and about and it's like super dark and I've just been scaring the shit out of people with like weird noises.
Right.
Places.
You'd be like, I've got a gun, and then just fired it into the air with your mouth.
Actually,
I think they'd notice you don't have a gun though when you turn up with your fingers.
Your fingers out. Yeah.
It sounds realistic, but it doesn't look very good.
Yeah, it's
You better watch out.
I think the closest I could get to that, I would say, would be we were busking once, and everyone. I think there was like the council were trying to move us on. Essentially, it was in Liverpool,
Rats.
and rats. And well, the police were coming down. So me and a friend of mine, Renegade, we have like a 2v2 tag team that we used to do. And we had like, whoop, whoop, it's the sound of the police and all this lot. And he would do this like siren thing that I can't do. It's like, I can't do it. But
I mean, it sounded pretty good. You could have said, you didn't have to add, I can't do it. You could have just done it and everyone would have
like
went, that sounds sick.
I would have started coughing. You would have been like, get out. Yeah, so we did that. And then the police ended up coming over and they were like, oh, no, it's fine. It's all right. And then they stood and watched us and stuff. But I think that's probably the only time. I don't know. I'll have a think on that. There must be another time where I've got away with something.
If it happens in the future, let me know.
Yeah, I will do. It can be a comedy bit.
Yeah.
We'll make something out of it. I'll be in the crowd and be like,
I needs the fire alarm to go off in here, and then just you from the background doing a little fire alarm.
That'd be like the good type of heckler, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Just makes weird fucking noises in the back.
And another thing, I just thought about this now. It's not written down. Because you said before about it being like a universal language.
Yep.
Do you have your own secret beatbox language? Because you could potentially put words to noises and then make your own, like on Men in Black.
Yeah.
Remember on Men in Black when Will Smith's beatboxing with the aliens and that, and they're talking.
Yeah,
you could do that if you could be asked.
Yeah, if you, I mean,
take a while.
It'd take a lot of time. There are certain words that beatboxers say, like there's like esh, which beatboxers say, which is like, I don't know, you walk past me like, esh, and they're a beatboxer sort of thing.
Really, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really like saying it that much. I don't know what it means. It's just something people say. There's certain like chants at the events and stuff, but in terms of language, not so much. But there's like a weird bond you get where like you can't speak to somebody, but you jam. So imagine you're doing a comedy bit, or imagine you're doing like a collaboration on some art or some graphic design or something, right? And you put something down and you put the trust in the other person to make it good. So say like you're like, oh, this is like completely off the top of the head, and you create something that's just like, this is like, It's amazing. Like you both complemented each other's work, or the bit itself was just fire and it just worked perfectly. If you can't really converse with a beatboxer and you're jamming and it's just going back and forth and the energy's on fire and the chemistry's perfect, like it just creates this weird bond that you're just like, that's my G. Like that's never gonna be, it's really, really weird. But yeah, that's one of my favorite things about beatboxers. You can just jam with anybody, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Do you have like favorite people who you do it with, like particular people? And is there anyone where you're like, don't mix well with them? Or
some people are just one man bands, aren't they? They can't really, because you got to dial back a little bit to
because you're trying to do everything when you're doing it on your own, aren't you? And if there's two people trying to do everything, it'll just end up noise, I imagine.
Exactly. Some people just can't do it. They're either it's ego or it's just they haven't had the experience. But yeah, there are people like that. There's some people that are just dicks anyway, so you just think, fuck that.
But I'm in comedy, isn't there?
There's dicks everywhere, isn't there?
There's dicks. Dicks is a universal language.
Did you have any questions that you thought of?
What's your star sign?
I am a Virgo, I believe.
Virgo, boy.
So yeah, September,
super
baby.
analytical.
When's your birthday?
29th.
Oh, is it?
August.
Yeah, 8th. Yeah.
Class.
Oh, August.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just on the cusp, right? Okay, yeah. I don't really know much about star signs, to be honest.
Amy will tell you all about it in the Patreon.
Very analytical. Very self-critical, perfectionist.
Yeah, 100%.
And
definitely.
The work ethic, because you're represented by pentacles.
Pentacles?
Same as us.
It's a pentacle?
It's an earth. You're an earth sign.
It's essentially like a coin, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's coin. So money, getting money, starting businesses, doing your own businesses. Right. Yeah,
man.
Look at that.
Smashing it.
I don't know.
So
I've got some announcements.
We'll do them near the end.
Okay.
I don't know how much you've seen of the show before. We have a couple things we usually ask people.
Yep.
One is awkward sex stories. Okay. If you've got any, if you want to tell any, don't feel like you have to. And the other one is, if you was a ghost for a week, what are you doing? How are you spending your time? That was a ghost noise you made then as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I know, right? If I was a ghost for a week, so we'll go for that one first, and I'll have a think of a. Oh, I know, I've already thought of it.
They're the best ones when people go,
this was trauma, like really traumatizing. Like I was like, I'm not doing this again for a while. We'll get on to that. And this is, you've heard it here first. I've never talked about this before.
Exclusive.
I think only like exclusive. So yeah, I think there's only like a couple of people that know about this, but yeah. So if I was a ghost for a day, I feel like I'd rob a bank or something, or I'd like, I don't know. If
rob a bank though, but you've got no use for the money, have you?
You can't. Oh, you are a ghost. You're a ghost for a day.
No, for a week, and then you're done. You've essentially died. Sorry.
Okay.
You don't just turn invisible for a day. It's the end of your life, and you've got a week
left. You're going
left.
up to heaven in a week.
In a week.
So I said I'd just walk into the sea.
Do you know what I'd do?
What?
I'd try my hardest to piss off Boris Johnson.
Yeah?
That would be it. I'd poltergeist the fuck out of him.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Just do the alarm noises then. Change the batteries and that 4 times. It's still going. It's just you there pretending to be the fire alarm.
Yeah. So in terms of
in
terms of awkward sex stories, Jesus, here we go. So I think this was. I'm not going to say any names, obviously, but I think this was probably when I was about 15 or something. I think. And there was somebody I'd got with back then. I'm not going to say whether they're an ex or whether they're just a casual thing, but this is disgusting. So I can't remember what it was now. We'd ate something, which wasn't great, and we were watching a movie and things kind of escalated, and I was lay on a stomach. And I could hear this rumbling, and I was like, "Okay, whatever." Stomach's rumble. So things had escalated, and I'd ended up going down there, and it'd probably been about a good 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah.
Just working your way up, and I felt this slight warm gust on my chin through the like 2 or 3 chin hairs I had, and I went like that. Fine, whatever. Carried on. Then I could not prepare myself enough for what was about to come after that. No. And literally, what I'm talking about, you see those videos where like, the big lady's walking through the kitchen, she does the biggest fart you've ever heard in your life.
Yeah.
And you think, that's overdubbed, that's not real, that. Well, imagine that planted right into your open
Right
mouth.
in your mouth. Yeah.
And then go and then having like a of like disbelief. Like I literally I was sat on the edge of the bed just like, don't.
Fuming.
So what did it taste like?
To be honest, I think I got up straight away. I was gagging for a moment. I went to the bathroom. I was like mouthwashing shit. So I don't think I actually stuck around long enough to kind of go,
yeah,
couple of nutty overtones
like
on that.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh my God, this is like the wildest shit, no pun intended, like the wildest shit I've ever come across.
When you're that young
that phrasing
as well.
didn't help us, did it? What?
When you're that young as well, it's not ideal.
Well, that put me off for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, nah, I'm not even risking it. I'm not even risking it. And then I sucked it up after a few years. My wording is not right.
Not great.
Bro. Fucking hell. Yeah, so
when you're that young and stuff like that happens, part of you might be like, is that what always happens?
Yeah.
Like, is that what happens when girls have an orgasm?
But look,
I do something real good there.
well, luckily, I was kind of clued up enough to know that was not the right thing, and that one didn't last long. I was like, I just can't. Yeah, it was one of those, like, it was kind of like PTSD. Anytime I'd try again, I'd be like, nah, I can taste it. Like, no.
Like when you have a real bad night on one type of ale and you can never drink that ale
Southern
again.
Comfort was the one for me.
Yeah.
Drank half a bottle of Southern Comfort in Tenerife, had sunstroke, threw up for like God knows how long, both ends.
Yeah.
Not even able to touch it.
Can't even smell it, can you?
Can't go anywhere near it, no.
That's what it like with there.
All my mates are like, Southern Comfort lemonade, and the sat next to me, like, fuck off. Get away.
Yeah, it's a bad one, that, getting farted on.
Yeah, it wasn't the best.
It's all right if you were in like a long relationship, like you're at the point where maybe, because like you've done it to me where you go,
oh shit.
No.
where she goes like, exclusive.
That's what I was gonna say. Like from her point of view, is it? I know it'd be embarrassing to be like, I'm gonna fart. I need to go.
That's what Amy done to me.
It was the warning that I thought could have at least been, you know, a common courtesy. That's why I was like, if there was a warning, I'd be like, fine, everybody farts. You know, we've had, I can't remember what we'd eaten, but something mental by the smell of it. And it was
big
just
bale to shit.
it was just like, I don't know. It was just kind of one of them. It was like, if I had the warning, it would have been fine. But it was like, there was already the initial kind of, and then there was the second wave. You know, it's like when tsunamis kind of pull out. There's a little wave, and I just went, no, you know what?
Done here.
Yeah. I think the moment's killed. I think it killed a bit more than that.
Yeah, it's a heavy one. That
is a heavy one. Yeah. So yeah, no, not told many people that story.
Wild.
It's all right. It's not going to be on the internet forever.
Yeah, no, it's not. Definitely not.
That's like, guys, bumholes are far away from the willies, so they don't have to. It's not.
You've been all about
around.
gooch length lately, haven't you?
Yeah, it's just
different gooch length.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, the other day was like, isn't it mad that a man's gooch is the same length as a woman's vagina and her gooch? And I was like,
approximate.
Well, yeah, but why? Why if we have
I was thinking about it because you know when you say stuff and then you think about it for ages after. And
that was after a joint, that wasn't it? 100%.
Yeah, it's always after a joint.
Yeah.
Always.
Because did you know that the clitoris is essentially a bell end?
Yeah.
And it grows.
He knows. He's clued up.
So that's why I was thinking about that.
Oh, okay.
And then
right, yeah.
I was like, well, that would mean the vagina.
Yeah, because when they have like sex changes, they strip it down, don't they? And they still keep the tip, and they kind of like pull everything in and just leave a little bit hanging out.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he folded it inside out.
Yeah.
I mean, inside out.
I mean, I couldn't. If someone was just going like that, ramping on the, I'd hate that.
Yeah.
I'd just fucking hell. Come on, back it in. Sensitive. Yeah. Oh, wild.
Right.
Amazing.
Have we got anything else? Any questions? Anything? Anything you've thought of?
Any announcements?
What's some announcements?
But I'm just thinking. I haven't got any beatboxing questions.
It's fine.
You've answered.
You got any normal questions that aren't about beatboxing that you might want to know?
I don't know. Have you found it? Are you in a relationship?
No.
Okay. How do you find? Is it hard? Because you probably work a lot, don't you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been through a lot of a lot of wild relationships, a lot of things that, like, I don't know, just kind of broke my trust a little bit. But then when I started focusing 100% on beatbox, I kind of got to a point where I was just like, do you know what? I'm not even interested.
Don't need it.
Yeah.
That's your
Like
love,
that for a
innit?
while,
Yeah.
Literally, married to the work for now. I mean, I don't want to bring somebody in to my space without having it be a healthy space and something that is, you know, able to sustain two people.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, you know, I'd expect that the person to have their own things going on. I don't want to be like, you know, relied upon too much. But, you know, I feel like if they're in the same mindset, then it's going to go somewhere. But like, it's not worth me. It's not worth me worrying about. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's only ever done two things for me. Relationships is either destroy my creativity or destroy my trust.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
neither of them are ideal, are they?
no, I need both of those. So
Yeah.
you heard it here first. Again, exclusive.
Have you
off
got
the market?
It's a is it a pretty male dominated industry? Yeah, because I've never,
is a lot of it,
I don't even ever think I've seen a video of a girl beatboxing.
Yeah, I mean there are some amazing female artists, and you know, non-binary artists, and loads of really amazing artists in the scene, and coming up as well. And I think one of my goals a while back was to highlight that as much as possible. But it's through Instagram Live, and then I got burnt out with social media, and I just went, nope.
Yeah, right.
Can't be bothered doing Instagram at all. But now I've got the whole Twitch thing coming up. It's kind of like it's another platform where I can showcase you know, these people and these individual artists. It is a male-dominated scene for the most part, and that does come with its own problems. We are dealing with a lot of issues at the minute as a scene, and there's a lot of pain going on and realizations. But you know, things are going in the right direction, and hopefully, you know, if you want to know any female beatboxers or any alike, let me know.
Who's some good ones?
Oh God, there's so many. So my best friend Hershey, she's from Boston. She's absolutely ridiculous. There's a girl called Chihuahua from Poland, absolutely ridiculous. There's a girl from Brazil called Waller, absolutely ridiculous. There's loads. There's like Bellatrix from the UK. There's a friend of mine, Kimmy. She's from Manchester, originally living in London now. I
love that you're all just from all over the world as well.
Yeah.
Just brought together by beatboxing.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Literally, my Twitch chat will be like, I'll say, right, put your countries in the chat, and it'll be like UK, America, Uruguay, like every country you can imagine. It's just popping in. Korea, Japan, like everywhere.
Yeah.
It's wild.
That's
So
sick.
really
you're not
wild.
very like, you're not in social media. I'm not.
I am into it. Like I know everything about, so I know how to do it all, market and all that sort of stuff. It's just if I focus too much on social media that's going to grow, but it's not going to actually have any return, then I'm working twice as hard to try and make up the money on one side, then I end up getting burnt out, is what I've realized.
Yeah.
Whereas if I sort of if I funnel all my creativity to one point that is multifaceted and can be used for all of these things, so like you'll have a podcast, you'll take your clips, you'll put it on TikTok, you put it here, and then you can monetize this one main hub, and then you can have different things coming off of that.
Yeah.
It's just the usual creator's business mindset, but with, you know, as much branding and all that as you can do, you know, products and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Is there like beatbox open mics? Has anyone ever set up anything like that?
Not really, no. I mean, whenever there's a beatbox, there's not many beatbox events in the UK, but when there is a beatbox event, it's just battles. And I personally, I'm not really that bothered about battles. I couldn't care less. I'm like, I did it a few times because I was like, I should do this.
Because you know, like it was something that you needed to do to sort of
like
make
get
a bit
the
of a
credibility. And I was just like, and then I
like that
did
with
it.
comedy,
With gong shows.
Yeah, like gong shows and comedy and that. And,
Yeah.
I've got a beatboxing gong show, be good. Like, you know,
What's a gong show?
So basically, you got to like the audience will get given out 3 cards at random.
Okay.
And then you have to do 5 minutes.
Oh,
But if 3 people in the crowd don't like it,
they used to do it Frog and Bucket, didn't they?
they still do, beat the frog. And there's one at like Comedy Store and one up in Stockton and that. Yeah. So it's like you've got to do the 5 minutes, and if all the 3 cards go up, you get gonged off.
We actually got gonged off once. A friend of mine, Sam, he's an aspiring comedian.
Yeah.
He's a ball of energy. He went up there and he had his idea for a bit which involved beatbox, and I was watching it anyway. So he wanted me to come up at some point, and the bit was supposed to go a certain way, and he just completely crumbled, and I just stood there like,
Oh, you was on the stage as well?
He pulled me up, and I'm just stood there like he was just trying to pull it back, and I was like, fuck. And then he just went, nope.
So you've been gonged off?
I've been gonged off. Yeah. I'm terrible. I'm not that funny anyway.
You
So.
should have just started beatboxing, like doing some sick shit and trying to
there was like that kind of element, and people just say,
oh, not there for beatboxing, are they? So make me laugh.
No.
The guy who started Beat the Frog, the Gong Show, and made it what it was. That's his podcast next door.
Dan Nightingale.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
right,
man.
Right.
You might have seen him when you
like I say, I mean, I've not been I've been kind of deprived of a lot of music and comedy and all that sort of stuff over the past few years. But since I've been beatboxing, because I don't know why. Well, yeah, but then at the same time, it's like I don't really listen to a lot of music. I like making it, but I'm just kind of like, it's the same like going to an event. I always think about what it's like to be on stage when I'm in the crowd. Rather than I'm like, oh shit, which one's it? You know what I mean? So it's like,
it feels like very similar, like to doing comedy and like music as well. I imagine, like you say, you know, all I ever do now is just I go out to do stand up. Yeah. And it's like, if I've got any free nights, I'm like, I want to stay in because I've been out 4 nights in a row. Yeah. All my mates are like, oh, we want to go out on the weekend? It's like, I'm going to Newcastle or whatever. And then the day after, I'm like, I'm just going to chill because I'm knackered.
Yeah. And you can make money at the same time.
Yeah,
so it's perfect. Yeah.
And I don't go out, but I love working. And I was going to say about social media before, I just don't, it doesn't interest me very much.
I'd rather not have it. But in this day and age, you need it to use it as a tool, don't you, to get in front of people.
Do you both edit all your own stuff for all socials and stuff? Yeah. So you do all the reels formatting and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, just the aesthetic and everything. Like we got obviously the new competition to win a £50 voucher, and we just I know, tell us ties. Check out the Instagram. But we could just make a graphic for that dead quick. Yep. And it looks good and cohesive. You don't have to fork out money to get someone else to do it.
Don't have to find someone who you like the style of.
This is why it's perfect. Well, I imagine obviously with tattooing as well, you obviously do a bit of art yourself. But like graphic design is one of the most useful things. And I've been saying this for one of the most useful things. Because I've got graphic designers that I have to go out to all the time. And I'm like, shit, I wish I could just do this now.
It's on everything, innit? Everything's got graphics on.
I didn't even realise, it sounds stupid, I didn't realise it was a job.
But you don't think about it? No. You don't realise.
Depends how you monetize it.
Yeah.
That's it. But I literally did a drawing when I was in New Zealand, and it got like more likes than my drawings normally get, and I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll do that then. Yeah. But I don't really post art anymore.
You got to be careful sometimes though with that as well, because you see the numbers on one thing. You got to remember, like, social media is one. This is kind of can take you down a path of like, oh, I did this one thing, and it's not like what I usually like to do, but people like that, so I'm going to keep doing that, and you keep going down that way. That's literally what's happened to
me in the fact that, not even with that, I've stopped posting art, I've stopped posting Mild High Club stuff on there, because the only thing that gets likes on my Instagram is like selfies. I'm not asked about selfies, but like if I post a selfie, I get 300 likes, and that art took me days, and it got like 100. You all liked it, thanks. But do you know what I mean? So it's when you're trying to grow like your thing as well. It's like, well, what do you do?
You've got to. I mean, I always say this. Sometimes you have to sell out to show up, and it's like, you know, sometimes you can feel a bit like, oh, I hate doing that, but you just gotta kind of put it to one side and just be like, right, you know, I'm doing this so I can get to there. Yeah. But I mean, I think the good thing about a podcast is as well is people can really deep dive into your personality, and people can really go like, oh, I see where that art's come from. You know what I mean? So, it
really helps, like, having this. I can't post a lot of personal stuff on my own, but I do on this page. Yeah. And we've just had a lot of like lovely.
It's a lot of love coming in, isn't it? Yeah, that's because it's because the vibe we're trying to have is like just positive shit. Like any negative stuff, we just don't want it. So, but we don't tend to get it really. Get the odd bit every now and then on TikTok on like stupid comments and that. But even then, you go, not ask, because look at everyone else who enjoys it.
I mean, TikTok's
it's not real life. Yeah. Like, you can turn your phone off; it doesn't exist.
But even like that, like I felt, even with the good stuff, like, you know, when you're getting like all the followers started going up and all that, even that, I was like, that doesn't feel real either, because it's not, in a way. You know, you get the odd one who, like John. Shout out John. He loves hearing his name when his kids go, I fucking know.
Big up John.
He comes to gigs and that all the time. So he that feels like, oh, he's a person. Yeah. I put a face to that. username and have spoke to them properly.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, you just go, oh, we've got 11,000 followers, and you're like, they don't feel real. It's mad.
So this is, I really like that you brought that up, because like, you know, with my social media, a lot of it is beatboxers. So a lot of them I have either met or I've seen them in videos or wildcards or battles or whatever. So there's already that kind of like really weird interknitted community vibe with it. But obviously, you know, with all of that sort of stuff, there's problems as it is.
Does it get clanny? Like
clicky?
Yeah.
And like there's like, you know, certain countries that are like, we stay together and like fuck your country.
Oh really? Yeah.
I mean, to a degree, but you know, you see some politics come into it, and it's like, no, this is beatbox. Fuck your politics. Take it away. You know what I mean? Who cares? You know what I mean? But I think the main thing about this podcast, which drew me to it at first, when I first saw it, I saw just a random Instagram reel, I think it was at first, and then I think I liked that. I might have followed you, and I think you followed me back, I think, wasn't it? Or something like that.
Well, we remember when you followed, because we were like, fucking hell, is this UK Vice beatboxing champion stuff? Like, we'll try and get him on, that'd be sick. Like,
but this is it. I mean, the reason why I liked it was because of the approach that you don't see a lot of the time. Was the one, there's like the comedy, and then there's like the actual intellect behind the comedy, and then there's the nonsensical side where it's just kind of like, that is the conversation I'd have with my mate in the pub. Which brings the new dynamic of, okay, these are my mates. Then you've got the kind of like, oh, now I'm learning more about them. Then you start to kind of build that rapport with the audience. And I think, like, you know, as this grows, I think, you know, if you did like a fan meetup, or if you did like all these different things, you know, you'll start to notice that community will start to get stronger and stronger, because then they'll meet people. Because like when I've been streaming, there's people in my chat who don't know anybody else or don't speak to any other beatboxers, and they've been in the chat and they've been conversing. Now they're on calls every single day. They're going meeting up in like Germany. They're doing all these different things. You know what I mean? And they're always sending me photos like, oh, we did this. Yeah,
because you've got a mutual interest in you or whatever.
Exactly. Well, they just met like in a space that, you know, they know that everybody are going to be kind of like-minded. You know, if people are watching you, they know that the other people watching have got the same kind of humor. And humor is the number one thing that brings people together. So, you know, you put all those people in a room, it's going to be fucking havoc, but it's going to be fun. You know,
we want to try and do a live show at some point, like a live podcast.
Do you want to come on?
Yeah.
Come do a set at the end and get everyone fucking bouncing. It'd be amazing. So I think that's what'll do us for the episode. We're going to go over to our Patreon and do a little... I know, I'm just saying what's going on. Chili beans, tarot reading on the Patreon. So go sign up for that. You get 2 extra episodes a week, which is
fire
madness. That in it for £3 a month.
Yeah.
Also, it's nice to say I've been nominated for an award in comedy.
Oh yeah.
But public aren't allowed to vote on it, so it's a bit pointless.
Oh.
But if you could, though, I'd be like, fucking get on it.
He's been nominated within the industry, which is
good.
I've
never had that before, so it's nice just to have the recognition of like, oh, all these promoters put you forward in this list of, there's only like 5 names on it. So
he's like, the only straight white male. That is an achievement.
Doing it for the straight whites. We need a win. We need some representation on the TV. You go out and watch Live at the Apollo. It's women, diverse everywhere. We need some straight white males up on the telly again. Put me through.
So what's it for them?
It's like Northwest Comedy Awards, and it's a like breakthrough act.
Nice.
So like the newer acts coming up.
Good stuff.
As I say, it's a bit of a shame that you can't have public voting, because obviously you've got mates and family and
of course. I mean, it's one of that when you're saying about how like you don't like social media, but that's where it comes in. You know, with for those. Things,
I'd be dropping it on this.
Big time.
And just get everyone on Instagram just to go and vote, but I think that's kind of unfair at the same time, innit? Because I've built this following outside of stand up, and then all of a sudden I'm like, here's 11,000 people to vote for me. It's like,
but. I mean, look, people find you funny everywhere else, so why not have them vouch for you, you know? And that's another thing I want to add. You're going to have a lot of beatboxers watching this, most likely. So if you are a beatboxer, spam Esh in the chat, drop a like, make sure you're sharing this to everybody, drop a sub, and whatever else there is, just do it.
Ring the bell.
Right?
Ring the bell, If you don't, you smell. There we go.
There we
go. Check out...
Raps.
Base's channel. I don't want to use your government. I nearly said it.
Yeah, so you'll find me on Twitch, so twitch.tv/Base Ventura TV. You'll find me on Instagram, just Base Ventura straight. It was a pain in the ass to get that name.
By the way.
Thank you.
It is a great name.
I came from a drink and smoke fueled night one night.
Yeah.
It was going to be Beethoven, and I went, I don't do classical.
Beethoven's good as well, though, yeah. But Base Ventura.
Yeah, but Ventura, because all I used to watch was Jim Carrey films and stuff like that.
Oh, right, yeah.
I actually just disown us about being multifaceted, like, you know, changing the names of how you can do it, like Mild High Club and stuff like that, and puns. I did a stream about 2 weeks ago on Twitch where I turned into Grace Ventura, right? And basically, I gave the chat 2 options. We hit a donation goal, and I said, right, you decide on 2 things that you want me to do. And it was wax me chest live on stream, which last time I did that, I had the biggest rash. I couldn't lay on my front for weeks. I went, not a chance I'm doing that. Or get a makeup artist in to turn me into a girl. Now, I thought it was going to be like one of them where it's like, you know, they can just take the piss. There's like tiers. They can donate a certain amount. And they can choose like the intensity of things. I thought I was going to look like a clown. Turns out I look peng as fuck. Yeah. Weird. I'll show you a photo after.
I've started entering battles as Grace Ventura. Like,
bro, I swear to God, I would have, if I saw me, you know, I'm not going to go too much into it, but
I would have farted into my own mouth.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the Bible, man. But yeah, so make sure that you're checking out, you know, yourselves, Instagram Base Ventura, and then just YouTube. Just put the name in, and I'll be the first one that comes.
Yeah, man. Up. Nice one for coming on.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it loads.
much.
Pleasure.
It's been amazing.
Yeah, we're going over to Patreon now. So if you're really cool kids, go over there. See you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
Bye.
Peace.
Bye.